Here in northern Ukraine, on the frontier to Russia, Alexander Dudko and his comrade are stationed at the Senkivka border crossing. The border guards say this dugout might save lives one day. It's reminiscent of a trench in classical warfare. Next to it is a 2-meter-high fence intended as a defense against an attack from Russia. The officers are convinced the fence would serve its purpose.
It's a shelter for civilians so we can protect them in a grenade attack.
Across from the bunker, we see openings where weapons can be fired. This border crossing looks like it's in the middle of a war. This is Ukraine. Over there is Russia, and between them the crossing point that separates the two countries. Ukraine looks ready to defend against an attack. The nearby customs clearance building is hardly being used. Trade between Ukraine and Russia has nearly come to a standstill. Instead, Kiev has already allocated tens of millions of euros to build the European Wall, as the fortified border is dubbed.
We're defending our homeland here, but I think we are also actually defending the democratic world.
Remarks like that indicate that Officer Dudko supports a pro-European, pro-Western stance for Ukraine. But would the fences and anti-tank trenches really be able to hold back a Russian advance?
In any case, it would enable the soldiers of the border unit to hold back the attack for some time. If you're attacked, then it's definitely better to be returning fire from a protected position like this one than it is to go out and meet the enemy on an open field.
Over the next few years, the cost of the project is expected to run to hundreds of millions of euros. Some of that money may come from the European Union. But 3 hours further to the south, here on the Dnieper River, many doubt whether the mega project actually makes sense. Alexander Radchuk represents the Citizens Control Initiative.
Senkivka.
He's been keeping an eye on the fortifications at Senkivka.
In principle, we can't really trace how the money's been used in the past 2 years.
Some suspect that corruption is playing a role in the project.
Considering the amount of money involved, I believe it would be better and far more efficient to put these funds into modernizing the Ukrainian army.
We're not the only ones wondering if the setup could stop an attack by neighboring Russia. But while 800 kilometers to the east, hostilities between pro-Kiev forces and pro-Russian rebels continue, the construction work at the northern Ukrainian border seems to be more about symbolism. Border Officer Dudko takes us to the old Soviet monument behind the checkpoint. It's nicknamed the Three Sisters.
The construction was built by 3 former Soviet republics together.
The Senkivka checkpoint leads not only to Russia, but also to neighboring Belarus. The monument from the year 1975 once stood for the friendship between the 3 Soviet republics and their respective peoples. Does that friendship still exist?
We have official contacts with the Russian side, but there are no personal connections.
Alexander Dudko isn't willing to say more than that, but he introduces us to someone who can tell us about how relations with Russia have changed in this tri-border region. Local Mayor Yuri Holovan. The bus station in front of the town hall dates back to the Soviet era. Across the street, traditional Ukrainian farmhouses are still standing. But the statue of Lenin was recently toppled by members of the ultra-nationalist Right Sector party in the town. Inside, Holovan and the border guards discuss how Ukrainian-Russian relations have deteriorated.
There was really friendship between us at one time, but not anymore.
Why, we want to know.
How can there be friendship between two neighbors when one of them has attacked the other?
The conflict in eastern Ukraine has also spelled the end to old friendships here on Ukraine's northern border. The new border fence seems to serve mainly as a symbol of the divisions between Ukraine and Russia. But the fence is unlikely to withstand a real tank assault.